All right. Well, hey everyone, it's Shireen Brown, spouse of the Chief of Staff, and I'm here. We're doing a few AFA interviews today. Well, I have a fantastic person for you all to meet today on the subject of spousal hiring, particularly for those of you who are overseas. So you want to pay attention to this one. Captain Colletti, let me tell you, he is a rock star. He latched onto a project and he is a dogged advocate for our military spouses. So let's just jump into it right away. So, although I'm very familiar with your efforts on spousal hiring overseas, can you share with us just a little bit about, especially our audience, with your commendable initiative known as Go Fish? I love that name, by the way, and what you hope to accomplish through this effort.
Absolutely. Well, first, I would just say a very brief thank you. What an opportunity, what an honor. But on with the fight. Go Fish, the government fix for spousal hiring. So we're honestly, part of the reason for the name is just to say, hey, we have a problem, and here's a solution. So let's recognize it and move on. The objective is simply to deliberately hire qualified military spouses for billets at overseas bases. Deliberate being a very key word, and qualified as well. In doing so, we can fill mission requirements, take care of people, and save money. As a finance guy, I can tell you all about the saving money part. And that's near and dear to me. But again, taking care of people, filling mission requirements. I mean, it checks all the boxes. So really, what GoFish is a playbook to hire spouses. Primarily focused on overseas, could be used other places, and it pairs very well with the very new direct hire authority for overseas spouses. So yeah, that's not to say it requires it, because I was working on this, and this proposal I thought was bulletproof before direct hire for overseas spouses came, and it is now just that much easier using that tool that has been afforded to us. So GoFish demonstrates how to hire spouses at overseas bases, and again, save money. An important key here that we hear a lot in the Air Force that really needs to be embraced is it's using data. It's using data to better define the problem and to solve the problem. To me, unemployment, I mean, in general, right? Just in the community is a problem. Unemployment in the Air Force, smaller subset of the problem. Unemployment by location in the Air Force, it's really a base problem, and I think that's the level that it's the most solvable at. So what the proposal is to track your talent at locations and use that data to deliberately fill GS positions. Now that does a couple things for you. It helps better quantify and ID your problem, but while you're doing that, you're also solving your problem. So you collect data, you track who's there and what they can do. This can be done many different ways, and I will save that for a follow-up, or if anybody wants to shoot me an email. But then you identify jobs that are good candidates to fill with direct hire, with spouses, and that can be informed by the data you have. The way to save money, you can reduce automatic living quarter allowances and eliminate the need for PCS allowances and a lot of other expenses related to that by hiring these in-place spouses. And then finally, we're going to make matches for the talent we have and the billets we have open. We can use this civilian personnel office and the hiring people already in existence. We can get a talent manager out there, or use not a third party, but like a private org. Something we were just speaking about before the interview began. There's an amazing project out there called the Hire Okie Spouses Project, and they basically are a group of medical professionals that are living in Okinawa, advocating to get hired at all the medical places in Okinawa. Well, Defense Health Agency, there you go, right there. You have a list of a ready-made menu. Just point and hire right there. You can save money, save time using this direct hire authority, and that's what GoFish is all about. Deliberately hiring people using data and the tools that we have to overcome a really important problem to the Air Force, to you, Miss Brown, to all of us. So that is what Go Fish is in a nutshell. I would be remiss not to mention um, the 4-step program there. There are people out there already doing some of these things. I'm not saying they took the idea from me, but I'm saying they're out there actively identifying. To use the example of the like Captain Mark Moore and the FSS team at the 374th at Yokota, they are deliberately identifying billets that they could use direct hiring authority for, and they're hiring people. Their biggest success has been turn a position in 30 days. So that's truly amazing. There's people out there doing this or versions of it. But again, my playbook really walks through using data, embracing the data, and using the data for change.
That is incredible. It sounds like it is a win-win all the way around. You know, when you have vacant spots and the agency that is trying to find those locations, and here you are providing not only a playbook as to how to get that accomplished, but now there's a couple of different organizations or nonprofits, if not individuals, who are providing those persons that have that skill set to be able to fill those positions that are being looked for. It's a fantastic way to go about it. Thank you for stepping in and making this really possible for our families going forward, our military spouses. It's the passion that you show and the advocacy that makes this such a success. So let me just ask you, if there's anyone out there who's really interested in learning a little bit more or just becoming a part of this effort, so how can they do that? And what do you recommend, or what can we all do to support you?
That's a great question. I really appreciate it. And there's so many answers to that. So first, I would say just if you want a ton of resources, I have them. I already have spoken with your organization about posting them somewhere. But if you have a question about hiring a spouse overseas or some of these authorities that you might not have heard about, or just want to shoot the breeze and talk about how we could do this, feel free to reach out to me. So that's one. Yokota Air Base has a website for their direct hire program. Definitely check that out. Reach out to the Hierarchy Spouses Project if you're in a position to hire. And then again, really being informed. One of the main issues I've found in this fight is the people who own the billets, the vacancies, don't necessarily know about or understand direct hiring authorities and how to use them. And so becoming informed, if you just watch this video and say, I wonder what that is, email me, Google it, go on the OPM website and find out more. Go to your civilian personnel hiring office. They know what they're doing and they can help you as well. And then the last plea I have is this is executable. It's being done places. So I need more people to pilot it or do some version of it. If you're a wing or a group commander, you can roll this out. All it took at the 374th were a couple conversations and a can-do attitude, and they're up and running and they're hiring people, saving time, money, and doing all the great things that we already spoke about. The other thing, the last answer I'll give at the very highest level, we have a data problem. When I was doing some research, I did a Freedom of Information Act request to the Office of Personnel Management. And the data that came back was that it was very underwhelming. I asked, what are all the overseas positions that hired an overseas spouse by location? Across 3 years, there was only 65 people hired. Now that's a data problem. There were more hired than that, but I've been explained several times why our systems can't give a better answer or more accurate, because that can't possibly be right. I agree it's probably not right, but it's also not right that we are unable to have that data if we are doing better. So this is just my call to action. We can do better. Contact me. We will do better. We must do better, and we can change laws. We can change processes, but we have issues, but we do have solutions.
No, you know what? This is why we love you for what you do. Not only did you just jump in there and tackle a problem and were persistent to follow through, you made it possible. You were sharing, you were finding out the data, you provide us with a playbook. But on top of that, you're running into other folks who are doing the same. And so, as you mentioned, this 374th unit that's over there in Yokota and what they're doing. This is where we need to be able to share our resources as to what people are doing. Fantastic. And your call to action. Oh my gosh. Call it out, right? Mention it.
I,
These are the things we want to be able to get our folks to be able to recognize. It's what you're doing to make a difference. That is phenomenal. We couldn't be happier for what you're doing. Thank you so much. This is great. Woohoo!
I thank you as well. This is awesome.
This is great. You're knocking it out of the park and continue to do so. Thank you so much.
Somebody, a wise man once said, accelerate, change, or lose. So this is one of them.
That's awesome. All righty. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, man.